Hello Year 3 and welcome to your next English lesson. Every Friday it will be our comprehension lesson like we would have in class. And today we're going to try and find information in a non-fiction text. But first of all, I've written a sentence on the board and I would like you just to write a reply back. Write what somebody might say back, remembering to use speech. So I have written, "Where are you going?" asked the teacher, and I would like you to write what somebody might say back, remembering to use those speech marks and to check that your writing makes sense. So pause the video and see if you can write a reply to that sentence, and I'll add one to my board as well. So I have written, "I have left my pencil case," said Annie, and I've remembered that full stop at the end and to use speech marks as well. Today we'll be talking about non-fiction text. We've looked at newspapers this week, which again contain lots of information and facts, and next week we'll again be looking at non-fiction text. I have an example here. This is the atlas that you all have at home, and some of the differences of a non-fiction text compared to a storybook I've written onto the board. There should be lots of facts in a non-fiction book. There will be titles, photos, maybe the odd drawn illustration, but mainly it will be photographs. It's written in sections all around the page, and some of those sections might even have smaller titles, subtitles we would call them. So very different, just your normal storybook that you might read. In today's activity, it looks like this. Sorry, 1 second. In today's activity, you have this worksheet, and the top part of it has been laid out like a non-fiction text, and it's all about ants. And your job is to find the answers to these questions in the text. In these first questions, you just have to find which section the answer is in. We'll do the first one together. So on the sheet, it says the biggest ants are queen ants. And you have to find where it says that in the text. I've done it for you. The biggest ants are queen ants. And all you need to write is which subtitle that is in, which section that answer is in, which section that fact is in. So I've written types of ants because that answer is in that section. So I've done the first one for you. I've just come up close just so you can see. I've highlighted where the answer is and I've written what section it is in, types of ants. And that's what you do for those first few. Once you get down to where it says number 2, you have to then write the answer to the question. And this is what I wanted to discuss for a little bit. We have to make sure that we are writing a full sentence. We discuss this lots in class. I've written a question on the board. Where do dolphins live? You can pause the video for a second if you would like to. Could you answer that question, but as a full sentence? Sometimes we just want to write 1 or 2 words, and that won't be a full sentence. I want us to get used to writing our answers as a full sentence. And as I say in class, you can use some of the questions, words, to help begin your answer. So where do dolphins live? We could write, dolphins live in the sea. So lots of the words you need in your answer are already in the question. So try to make sure your answers are written as a full sentence. Once you've completed that, you can write a fact about the different types of ants, and then the extension at the bottom to write 2 or 3 sentences about what an ant looks like. So complete the worksheet. You can do a description of the ant at the bottom. If you still have time, you can even draw a diagram, because lots of non-fiction texts will have diagrams in, which is a labelled picture, if you remember from science. You might be able to draw an ant and label the different parts of the ant if you have time and you get that far. If anybody finds that this text is a little bit too tricky, maybe it's quite difficult to read or there are some tricky words, I have also attached a different comprehension activity. It's still a non-fiction text. We have this book in year 3 called Fire. It's one of the khaki coloured books. So this might be a bit too tricky if you think it is, you can complete this activity instead. It's still a non-fiction text and you just have to answer these questions again in full sentences if you can and highlight the answers in the text. So there are 2 options there. I think most of us can do the ant activity. But if you're really struggling, there is a second worksheet I have attached as well. Remember, I will be on Google Meet, so you can ask me any questions or check any answers and send that work across to me once you have finished. Thank you for watching Year 3. I look forward to seeing your work.